Empress was shocked to discover that the general, who had died a year ago, suddenly descended from the sky. She was overjoyed, thinking that the general had returned. However, as the clouds dispersed, the general disappeared again. In truth, after the general's death, he had traveled to the modern world, 2,000 years into the future. Just a minute ago, he had seen the Empress being attacked by assassins, and in his rush to rescue her, he accidentally stepped on a wooden stick on the ground. Half of his body fell into a sand table that could teleport objects. When he was bounced back, he realized that the sand table could only teleport objects, not people. He had no choice but to secretly protect the Empress. Because the assassination attempt on the Empress failed, the enemy commander believed the general was protecting her from above, so he ordered a sorcerer to cast a spell to destroy the general's soul. Seeing this, the young man poured instant noodles into the sand table. The sorcerer, in the midst of casting the spell, was instantly scalded to death. Upon witnessing this, the enemy commander ordered the army to retreat. The Empress was overjoyed upon hearing this news, suspecting that the general was protecting her from the heavens. Unbeknownst to her, the young man was outside with a magnifying glass, spying on her while she was bathing. When she finished dressing and came out, the Marquis's son had already surrounded the entire city with his soldiers, intending to force the Empress to abdicate. The young man, seeing the Empress in danger through the sand table, immediately threw out a loudspeaker and warned them to lay down their weapons and surrender, or they would be struck by lightning. The soldiers, believing the general had become a deity after his death, had witnessed his powers the day before, but the Marquis's son didn't believe it, thinking it was just a trick by the Empress. The next second, he was electrocuted to death by the young man. At this moment, the Empress was certain that the general had always been watching over them. She then returned to the palace with her subordinates to deal with the rebellious Marquis. The young man also decided to continue helping the Empress. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door of his rented room. He hurriedly covered the sand table with cloth. When he opened the door, he found the landlady standing outside, because the young man was always mysterious in the house, living on instant noodles but somehow able to pay the rent with a gold bar. The landlady suspected that he had a treasure chest hidden in his room, so she wore a sexy nightgown to try and seduce him. As a righteous ancient general, the young man wasn't tempted, and he immediately closed the door to spy on what treasures were inside. The landlady decided to play cosplay the next night, dressing in the Empress's attire, striking seductive poses to try and lure the young man. The young man would never allow anyone to disrespect the Empress, so he immediately chased after the landlady, demanding she take off the clothes. Little did he know, he had fallen into her trap, as the landlady had already arranged for her brother to hide in the shadows. After the young man left, her brother sneaked into the room and uncovered the cloth covering the sand table.